going on, everybody? So this video was shot about a month and a half ago while I was visiting Germany. I went to the Nurburgring. The beginning of it really wasn't worth doing. I was all excited about going to the Nordschleife, and it was closed for the day for the BMW driving experience. So I was real bummed out. I really wasn't even going to upload this, but the footage of the museum was too good, so I decided to upload it anyway. But the intro that I shot there, obviously completely for the birds, so this is the new intro. So we're going to pick it right up as I'll go in the museum, and you'll see everything there, and then you'll see my disappointment at the end when we don't get to drive on the Nordschleife. Now, that being said, next year I'll go back to Germany. We're going to do the Nordschleife for sure, even if I have to go there twice. Won't matter, we're doing it. And do consider subscribing, like the video, throw down in the comments which car was your favorite, and we'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, so we are actually now at the visitor center at the Nurburgring, and it's essentially a car museum. It's awesome. There's a whole bunch of old German cars here, race cars, all race cars. This is just a really cool place to be. If you ever have a chance to go to the Nurburgring, you should definitely go. The weather outside is obviously crap because it's fall, it's foggy, rainy, but we're gonna still make the best of it and check out the inside. So, like this sweet old M3. This is a Opel Cadet C coupe, and they race these a lot for like hill climb races, rally races, etc. Factory, they had 115 horse, 2-liter engine, but hopping the engine up, you could get all the way to well over 200 horsepower. The thing only weighs 950 kilos, so that will be properly terrifying. It looks evil. The thing looks straight pissed off. It's so cool. Old cars are awesome. Here we've got a true German legend that not a lot of people probably see overseas. This is the Opel Calibra, which was, when it was released, one of the most, if not the most, aerodynamic car. This is the DTM version, 500 horsepower, and drives well in excess of 180 miles an hour or 300 kilometers per hour. And right next to it, the Audi Quattro DTM car. They built it, they had weight penalties for being a Quattro. It was a V8, 3.5 liter. And after 2 years of competing in DTM, the DTM sanctioning body told Audi they had to make changes to their engine, and Audi pulled out completely because they didn't want to deal with it. So, shame. It's such a cool car. It's big. I hope the video shows it. It is properly big. It's a massive, massive car. Especially, let me see if I can get it next to the Calibra. Like, it's huge. It's very big. This is the Porsche 919 Hybrid, and this thing is nuts. So what Porsche did is they designed the 919 Hybrid to compete in Le Mans, as you can see right there, Le Mans, and they were very successful. And then what they did is they took all the restriction out of it for Le Mans and took the headlights out, everything that they would need to drive in Le Mans, and they took it around the Nürburgring as a concept car essentially at this point. It was completely deregulated, and it lapped the Nürburgring in 5:19, which is extremely fast. It's absolutely incredible. This is a cool German old car. This one was a race car. This is an Opel Manta, M-A-N-T-A, and these were, when I grew up here, these were somewhat popular. Not a whole lot of people wanted them. And, you know, looking back at it now, they're just super cool cars. It's just rear-wheel drive, not a whole lot to it. They're just a good car. It looks good. I wish I had one. These are neat. Here's another good old Opel. Matter of fact, a family member of mine, we actually owned one. This is the Opel Omega. Sold in England. They had a fast version as the Lotus Carlton, which was properly fast. But these things were good. Rear-wheel drive, V6, 5-speed. I think there even was a 6-speed. And I want to say they were also available in Australia as a Holden Commodore. I think. I'll have to fact check myself. But good stuff. And then there is a Porsche in front of all this goodness. But there's Porsches everywhere here. When we pulled into the parking lot, there was, I kid you not, probably 20 of them sitting there. So seeing the old stuff that I haven't seen in years is more interesting. This is a 911 GT3R. Very wide. Cool. So here is a Formula car from 1987. This is just a replica. Some stuff is made out of metal rather than carbon. But it's just so impressive to see this. And like there's little tidbits like this that me as a tinkerer will see. So that there, that is the air intake for the radiator, which sits here sideways. I hope the camera can pick it up. It sits completely like this, sideways, which is just absolutely crazy. The tires are super, super thick. You know, you talk to somebody and they're all like, you want to have, you know, low profile tires for more feeling. Well, these guys, you know, you need the most feeling. They have super thick tires. Makes you curious. Very curious. In case anybody was curious how they raced in 1964, this is a Cooper race car with a 1-liter Cosworth engine. With this is I can't think of the head design. Crossflow is when the intake, it goes in one side and the exhaust goes out the other. This is everything happens on one side, which is very strange. You got your side draft carburetor, which is cool. The transaxle sticks out the back. And everything is adjustable, absolutely everything. But they literally just sat on the bottom of the pan, and the backrest was just a piece of sheet metal. All it was a tachometer, a steering wheel, and the driver. It's like absolutely mind-boggling to see this nowadays. And here we got a 2002 BMW with Watanabe wheels. This thing is awesome. Very awesome. Let me get to the front here. So good. So good. This is the Mercedes White Elephant from 1927. Just read the pamphlet on it, and it's got a 6.8 liter inline six, weighs 1,900 kilos, and achieved a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour, which is 112 miles an hour. It's absolutely gigantic, and it's gorgeous, but in 1927 they didn't have good roads, they didn't have anything, good tires, nothing was rated for this sort of speed. And it's just absolutely baffling to think about how they did that. And I just noticed, other than the cool horn right here, I hope the camera can pick this up right there, is these things, that right there, this bar will push, and there's going to be a wound up spring in there, and that's going to be their sway bar. There's one on each side. That works really well. It's pretty smart the way to do that. This is a Mercedes race truck. In Europe, they do truck racing, which is really cool to watch. I used to watch on TV quite a bit. And this thing, look at the size of this engine. It's massive. It's absolutely breathtakingly big. And then giant turbo. This is the exhaust. This huge bathtub looking thing is the exhaust. It's ridiculous. But read the little pamphlet, and this thing does 30 to 160 kilometers an hour, so roughly 18 to 100 miles an hour in under 6 seconds, has 5,000 Newton meters of torque, and a ridiculous 1,100 horsepower. And this is a race truck, so you know it's got to be reliable. This is just absolutely nuts. Some engineer had fun with this. They just gave him, you know, the truck and were like, make it fast, and he went just after it. This is great. So they've got a little Hall of Fame. Here's Ayrton Senna, Jackie Ickx, and then they have Schumacher is there. So pretty neat. There's a little pamphlet for each of them, so you can read, you know, how they lived, how they died, if they're dead. It's pretty crazy. Like this guy, Wolfgang Berger von Trips, and like can just see the outfits that they wore when they were racing. It's crazy. You know, this is from way back in the day, but it's definitely worth coming here and checking it out. It's neat, definitely. Mercedes has two engines here on display, both of race trucks, but like this thing, these turbos are massive, and this oil filter housing right here, it's got to be 35-40 centimeters tall. This thing also is just absolutely ridiculously big. I'm standing about 1.5 meters away, about 5 feet, and these engines are just massive. It's good to see. Then you got old Formula cars, newer Formula cars. It's good times. Here's a V6 Mercedes DTM engine, carbon fiber valve covers, carbon inlet trumpets. The alternator is absolutely tiny. It's really funny. It doesn't show how much horsepower or anything it has. But then here's a Formula 1 engine, and wow, it is absolutely incredible to actually see one out of the car. Sorry how dark it is. But here's the clutch. Approximate diameter 6 inches. Tiny. But the whole engine is actually small. 3-liter V10, only weighs 250 pounds. And here is a little car track for, I don't even know what I would call them. They're little cars, electrically driven. I can't think of the name now. It's very embarrassing. But this is actually the Grand Prix course here at the Nurburgring for the kids to play. This is amazing. This is awesome. They've got a little simulator set up here with Formula 1 cars, just to show you that it's not as easy as it looks. It's pretty neat, really. It's neat, very cool. Here's a car that is loved and hated by many people. This is the Ford Sierra Cosworth, or if you were in the States, it's the Merkur XR4 Ti. Pretty successful in what it did, and from this, if I remember right, I took the engine and put it in the Escort Cosworth, 2-liter turbocharged 4-wheel drive ridiculousness. It's good stuff. So we're in the underground car park, and you can do the ring taxi. So for €250, you can actually rent this Audi or this Porsche and drive them around the ring yourself. Today is not the day to do this. Liability insurance, blah blah blah. Today would not be the day to do this. Now that this is GT3, I think. It would not be the day to do this because the weather outside is just absolute crap between fog and rain. While I do want to do this, the experience would suck. So, but yeah, I definitely got to come back here soon. This is amazing. So, got to the beginning of the Nordschleife back behind me, there. And it's closed today, so only people driving are people doing the BMW experience, which I'm not. I didn't buy a car, so you can't get a ticket or anything like that. But regardless, it's every now and so often a car goes by. They won't let us in, but it's okay. But yeah, you can see here, BMW experience. Parking lot is empty. So as I said, it's only the BMW experience today, and here's a guy coming right there, and he's gonna go in the gate. Shame. Next time I'll get to drive it, but it's still an experience to be here. There's really nothing going on here today, so. But the visitor center was amazing. The museum there was awesome. Definitely go here if you have the chance. So we just drove past, and we had to turn around, and this is a parking lot full of just Aston Martins, all registered in England, or Great Britain I should say. There's, I think, 20 of them in here. This is nuts. So guess is, they will literally just come here, get one of their cars, or Aston Martin owns all of these, and you just turn a lap on the Nurburgring, which is, by the way, just over there. That's crazy. Alright, so now you've seen it. The museum was next level. So do consider liking, commenting, subscribing to this. Throw down in the comments which car was your favorite. The whole Nurburgring experience is phenomenal. Even if you don't get to drive on the Nordschleife, the whole visitor center, the museum, it was cheap. I want to say it was like €8 a person to go in, and totally worth it. Totally worth it. So even though we couldn't drive, it was definitely good to make a day out of it. That being said, check out some other videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.